Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Spirits Channel. I'm Paul James Caden, and in today's show, we are going to talk about using a simple transistor radio as a spirit box. Spirit boxes can be pretty expensive online. They run anywhere from $80 to over $100, depending on which brand you buy. Some companies sell the $80 ones for over $100, so it depends on where you buy them. But it can be kind of steep, so if you're on a budget or you're having a little bit of a cash crunch and you don't have $80 or $100 just to go out and spend on a spirit box, well, your worries are over because you can get a very inexpensive transistor radio and use it as a spirit box. So I want to show some of the radios that I have and also kind of just give a quick demonstration of how to use a transistor radio as a spirit box. Some of you probably already know this, but just for those who don't, this is a very easy way to do ITC research, very inexpensive, and trust me, you're going to get some great responses using a transistor radio. If you go back and listen to the video before this one on this channel, Voices in the Static, it's a session I did with this particular radio, and the responses were phenomenal. Perhaps even better than I've gotten with most spirit boxes. It was a very active session. A lot of words came through, a lot of answers to direct questions. And this is a nice little radio. It has a vintage look, the Prunus. And I like these radios. This was a little bit more expensive. This was about $25, maybe a little over, closer to 30. But again, it's a lot cheaper than 80 or 100 or 120. This is a cool radio because it takes two D batteries. It also has the rechargeable battery where you can charge it, via USB. And this radio also has Bluetooth. So you can hook your phone up to this radio and you can listen to music through it. You can use it as a speaker. If you have other paranormal apps on your phone and you want to amplify the sound and listen to them through a good speaker, you can hook your phone up to this and use it as a speaker for your apps for ITC research. It's a really awesome radio. It takes an SD card, so you could put music on an SD card and listen to it through the radio. And besides taking two D batteries and having a rechargeable battery, if you're in an apocalyptic setting, it has a little solar panel where you can charge the battery using just sunlight. So I thought this was a really cool radio, and like I said, it's one of the more expensive ones that I bought. This one ran about $25 or so, but a really nice radio if you're interested. This one I just got yesterday in the mail. This is the On-Cheer radio, and this was only $16.99. And again, it has that vintage radio look, which I really like. To me, these little vintage-looking radios just really bring through the whole atmosphere and spirit, no pun intended, of ITC research. Connecting with spirits through a radio. It just has that whole look that you would see in an old movie or some of the old timers when they first started doing ITC, geez, years ago when they had these old dial radios. This one too has Bluetooth. It also has the SD card feature. It's rechargeable. It does not take D batteries or any kind of batteries you would get in the store. This is just a rechargeable radio. Again, the Bluetooth, the SD card. And what's really cool about it, when you turn it on, I'm gonna find is the little dial lights up like the old-fashioned radios. So that is really cool. And again, using a transistor radio as a spirit box, very easy. You just turn it on, and this one also has a very good sound, and then just go through the dial. So you would ask your questions and just scan manually up and down the dial. And I like these radios, the Prunus and this one, because it's much smoother to scan the stations manually when you have a knob like this that you can just kind of, you know, grab a hold of and turn. And again, the Prunus radio also has that, you know, where you turn it on and let's see, you know, the knob is right here to scan the stations.
Your app is bad. Wake up. Go.
B1. So again, they're much smoother to use. And again, this was about $25, maybe verging on 30. This one was only $16.99. And again, I almost like to look at this one better. Very nice radio. I like that light up feature. So if you're doing a session in the dark, or you're out in a cemetery doing a session, you know, that makes it a lot easier to see what you're doing, scanning the stations. If $16.99 is a little too expensive for your tastes, you can always just get these very simple radios like this Panasonic that I own. I own a couple of these, very small, just basic transistor radios, and you know, they run about $10.99 to, you know, $12.99. Some of them maybe $15.99. So they can be very inexpensive, you know, around $9, $10, depending on the brand. This one doesn't have batteries in it, but again, there's the what am I looking at here? Yeah, there's where you would turn it on the side. You just turn it on, and to scan the stations is over here. It has your basic dial that you would go through. It's a little more awkward, you know, when you're doing it with like one finger, other than a dial that you can grab, but it works. And I've done sessions with this particular radio and gotten some good responses. It has a pretty good sound. So any basic transistor radio, you know, is something you can use as a spirit box. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be fancy. There are some inexpensive transistor radios. There is one I had, but I accidentally broke it, and the brand was, it was Reticus, or I think it was Reticus, Retekus, I think was the brand, and it was a small radio, but the tuning knob was on the side where you could grab it and it, you know, have a much smoother turn. So there are one or two brands out there that I've seen where it has a nicer tuning knob, but again, these definitely work, and you'll definitely get responses when using it. So you don't have to spend a lot of money to do ITC research. You could get a basic transistor radio. I've seen transistor radios in some of the, you know, discount stores like Odd Lot or even Walmart. You know, they have some very cheap ones. So it doesn't take a lot to be able to do ITC work. You don't need the expensive spirit boxes. I find sometimes that using the transistor radio, going manually through, has more replies and much clearer replies than the spirit boxes. If you wanted to, you could buy, an inexpensive radio of any kind, and I'm pretty sure there's tutorials on YouTube that would tell you how to take this apart and kind of rig it so it scans automatically through the stations when you turn it on like a spirit box. I know some people know how to do that. I don't think it's hard. I've never looked into doing it myself. Maybe that's something I will look into, and if it's easy, I'll let you guys know. So maybe you can make your own spirit box that will scan, all on its own. But again, you don't need to spend $80, $100, $120. You can spend $8.99, $10.99, $16.99 and have a nice radio that will get the job done just as well, if not better, than some of the spirit boxes on the market. So I hope this video was a helpful hint and a helpful tip for you. If you've been wanting to do ITC research, if you've been wanting a spirit box, but maybe can't afford to get one right now, this is definitely a cheaper way to use a transistor radio as a spirit box, and it works perfectly. So again, I hope this was a helpful tip and a helpful hint for you folks out there. And if you do any sessions, let me know. Post them online, send me clips, let me hear what you came up with, when you did sessions using a transistor radio, or even some of the apps out there. So thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you in the next video. God bless.